issues, wear and tear.
And then Oladipo remains out with an ankle injury. Obviously he'll be out against the. He was out last night, I guess, against Brooklyn. According to the Miami Herald.
Yeah, so the ankle sprains, again, as long as it's a minor ankle sprain, you could be out anywhere between minimum 7 days up to like 14 days for a first-degree ankle sprain type of thing. If we're looking at a second-degree ankle sprain, you could probably be out more for 2 to 4 weeks. If we're looking at just a very mild ankle sprain, like I said, anywhere between minimum 7 to 10 days up to 14 days.
Okay, and then Chet. Obviously, this is supposed to be his rookie year. Obviously, he hurt his, foot trying to guard LeBron and Jamal Crawford's pro-am. Shout out to Chet and all those guys for coming out and supporting the city. But he underwent successful secondary procedure Tuesday to remove hardware from his initial. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the actual. Yeah.
No, so that's actually a positive sign that he had the hardware removed. What that tells me is that the bones and the ligaments and everything has healed, and that the doctors are happy where it's at right now, that he no longer needs a hardware to support there. Oftentimes what they do, they'll put hardware. So if there's a little slight separation in there, they'll put think of it as a bridge where they'll connect the bones, and they'll put a plate over it to try to make sure that these two bones kind of stay together and they kind of seal each other together. They'll do like CT scans, or they'll do x-rays to kind of monitor and keep track of it. At some point, once the doctors go, hey, you know what, it's filled in, it's solid, it looks like it's healed, it's tacked together, you don't need the hardware anymore, they'll go in and remove the hardware. So that's actually a huge positive sign that tells me, hey, you know what, his ankle, the injury that he had, it's healed, the doctors are happy with it, and they removed the hardware. So that's a huge positive sign. It's a good thing.
Okay. Let me see if there's anything else before I have you close us out. Anthony Simons has an ankle, is progressing in his recovery, but remains without a timetable for a return, according to rosegardenreports.com.
So that's kind of code for, hey, he's still hurt. We're not sure when he's going to return, but he's potentially progressing. At least they're stating that he's progressing, he's going in the positive direction. Now, it may be progressing slower than they anticipated, hence they're putting the he's out indefinitely type of thing.
Okay, and then Nurk has a calf injury too, but the big man will remain out on Thursday's matchup against the Kings. Same reporter.
Captions again. If it's a minor first degree capture, and you look anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks type of thing. If it's more severe, like a second degree, you're probably looking more anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks from date of injury.
Okay, Colin Sexton hamstring didn't practice Wednesday. He will be reevaluated on Monday. Thoughts? Same thing, pretty much. Just depending on what the degree is, what they won't tell us.
Correct. And then that's the difficult part about it. If they don't identify what the degree is, it's hard for us to determine whether it's first, second, or third degree. So we're just kind of like a little bit of a guessing game on that part.
Okay. Mark Spears reported the Raptors announced Tuesday that Otto Porter specifically, underwent season-ending surgery on his left foot, and I think he only signed a 1-year deal, so he's gonna have to re-up this summer.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to rehab that ankle, get ready, and then go on to the free agent market.
Okay.
See what he gets.
Yeah, OG's got a wrist injury, and you're saying it depends on what it's the dominant hand or his non-dominant hand. You'll just basically wrap it and then just go from there.
Yeah, so you got to determine what ligament. If you're looking at a wrist sprain, most likely he injured a ligament in that area. You want to make sure that, I'm assuming that they're identifying that it's not a ligament that requires surgery at this point, or it's not torn that bad that it requires surgery. Second, you also want to determine if it's his shooting hand or non-shooting hand. Oftentimes we hope that it's his non-shooting hand because you can just go ahead and tape it up and they can go ahead and go out there and play. If it is his shooting hand, then we got to make sure they rehab him properly. Otherwise, his shooting mechanics can be slightly off.
Okay, I got Mitchell Robinson's out with his thumb. Participated in Thursday practice. He participated in Thursday practice, but he's out. I mean, how can we? How can we? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So even though he's participated in practice, this might be one of their first practices, and he's kind of testing out
Coming off the All-Star. Yeah.
Yeah, and he either he doesn't feel quite ready to be able to go out and play. Because here's the thing about it is that everybody sometimes confuses this. When you practice and you practice with your team, and even if you scrimmage with your team is aware, hey, you're coming back with an injury. They're going to go a little bit easier on you as you're progressing. Right. When you play a game, the opponent doesn't care. On the contrary, if the opponent sees that your thumb is taped up, they're going to go after it. They're going to go after it and try to get a swipe there to re-aggravate that injury type thing. So you don't want to return him too quick that if he goes out there and someone swipes it, now he's out for another 2 weeks type of thing. So, but it's a positive sign that he's back in practice. So now he's kind of testing out, seeing kind of his groove and kind of seeing how he participates and how he plays.
All right, I got 2 more for you, and I'll let you close it out. Gallinari, I mean, obviously he's out for the week. I mean, for the year. He said in an interview Sunday that his goal remains to return to the game action at some point during the Celtics postseason run, but he's got a knee injury. I think it might be an ACL specifically, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe, I don't know. But
hopefully it's not ACL, because I remember he's been in the league for a minute and he's had, I believe, 2 ACL injuries, if I'm not mistaken. I know he had 1 ACL injury. He might have had one to the other side type thing. But either way, he is a veteran. He's been in the league for more than several years. I remember him back then. He was a great shooter.
The Nuggets, he's always had injury. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always been injuries with him, though.
Yeah. He's always been in injuries type thing, left and right type thing. Now these injuries may be more chronic issues, wear and tear. He's a veteran player. He's had ACL injuries. He's had a bunch of issues type of thing. But
it's an ACL. He's an ACL injury, man.
Okay, but not a tear. So most likely it's an ACL sprain. So this is probably very similar to what.
Actually, no. I'm looking at it from 3 weeks ago. It's saying it's a tear.
Okay, so if it's a full tear that he requires surgery, there's no way he's going to be able to come back for the playoffs type of thing. Now, theoretically speaking, do you need, and this is one of the questions that I was going to ask, do you need an ACL to be able to participate in playing basketball? No, you do not need an ACL type of thing, so to speak. But yes, it helps to stabilize, stabilize your knee type of thing. I think there was a player with the San Antonio Spurs a long time ago, I forget his name, that he did not have any ACLs on either of his knees, and he was able to participate in play. As long as you rehab, you strengthen the muscle to stabilize knee, you should be okay. But a player like Gallinari, that's a veteran player that's had ACL injuries in the past, ACL tears, he may need more than that, or at this point. So we'll see how it comes out.
And that's what makes I forget what the Celtics player that they just traded for that was on OKC. But that makes sense with them going after another shooter. They feel that he, even though what he's talking about, they know that he's not going to be playing in the postseason. So that's why they went out and got somebody else to fulfill his type of role, basically.
Correct. Yeah. As much as Gallinari wants to participate, now he may be able to participate and hey, you know what, just stand in the corner and pull and just we'll pass to you type of thing. But as far as him being able to defend, change direction, do like Gallinari, that may not be possible. So hey, he may be able to come in for one, like the last shot of the game. I just need you to stand right there on the baseline, hang out there. If you're open, we'll get you the ball and you hit that 3 like you normally do. Then that's fine. He can do that.
But we're not expecting you to play defense on your type of injury. Okay, last one. Kelly Oubre suggested Thursday that he expects to transition into a smaller brace to protect his surgically repaired left hand. According to the Observer, the Charlotte Observer, he participated. He anticipates wearing the brace for 1 to 2 weeks, and then right after the 1 to 2 week period, he will be a All-Star break. So I guess that was 2 weeks ago, or like a week ago, and then that's the plan to come back. So he should be back in the next couple of weeks, either next week or the week afterwards.
Correct. So traditionally, when you do have a hand surgery or hand fracture, you have surgery in your hand, so to speak. Normal time can be anywhere to 4 to 6 weeks. This is something that we saw with the Lakers with Larry Nance, Rajon Rondo. We also saw this with the Dallas Cowboys. What's in the quarterback?
Dak Prescott, yeah.
Dak Prescott had fractured his hand, came back. So normal average time to return from a hand surgery issue is anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks, but you do wear a brace over it. It's kind of more of a padding, and that's more just to protect from getting smacked on the hand. Once you put the plate in there, that bone is solid. That bone is not going anywhere. You're more likely to break any other bone in there besides that one. But the padding or the protection over it is just to kind of allow the player to be able to kind of return to play. Could be a little bit of peace of mind from somebody else smacking it. Because like I said, if the opponent knows that you're coming back from a hand injury, they're going to try to smack
that injury. Yep.
As much as possible. So that padding is just to protect from any further. I don't want to say injury, but just from any further irritation or discomfort. I would say, because it will hurt if you get smacked if you come back from surgery.
Exactly.
And usually you wear it anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks, and then you take it off and you're ready to go. Boom.
Okay. I was going to ask you about Steven Adams. I'll just go ahead and ask it, and then we can close out. I think what's the injury? The knee. He's ruled out against the Sixers tonight.
But I don't think they've identified exactly what the knee issue is. Again, Steven Adams is another veteran player that's been around for I remember when he was with the Oklahoma State at the trios with KD, Westbrook and he was one of their centers. I'm a huge fan of him. I mean, he's an awesome center type team. But again, potential normal wear and tear, some arthritic issues in there, some tendonitis, some chondromalacia, something like that. And give him some rest. At the same time, I think Memphis is trying to make a run for the playoffs as well, and they're going to need Steven Adams for the playoff run. So at this point in March, as you're entering March, as a team, you're starting to think of what we're going to do for the playoffs. How can we get our guys rested for the playoffs? Because what a lot of teams fail to do, and this is very common. You see these. You see what they refer to as season teams and playoff teams. Season teams, they go all out and they win the season, but when it comes to the playoffs, they don't show up.
Right.
You want to be able to peak during the playoffs. Right. I remember what's his name with the coach with the San Antonio Spurs,
Greg Popovich.
He was huge in managing his team and be able to peak in the playoffs. I remember, the San Antonio Spurs would always be like in the 4th, 5th spot, 6th spot every single year. No one would be able to recognize it. Nobody would talk about them. But then when they came to the playoffs, they would skyrocket to the championship right off the bat.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do. Yeah. As a team, you want to peak in the playoffs, not in the season.
Yeah, That makes sense. Well, I'm all out of injury reports in as far as the basketball thing goes. I think we covered maybe 15 to 20 people. Injuries, obviously, most of them will be out for either today or tonight's games against their respective opponents. So, but I'm gonna have you close us out today.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, everybody. So thank you for watching the Waiver Wire Selection Podcast. I'm Dr. Marco Nunez. You can follow me on Instagram at Marco Nunez ATC, and this is Landon Buford.
Yes, you can follow me on Twitter at Landon Buford and Instagram at Landon Buford. You can catch most of my work nowadays on landonbuford.com as well. But I am a freelance journalist, currently located in the Dallas Mavericks market of Dallas. But I try to touch on several different things as well. So not just Mavericks news, a little bit of everything nowadays.
Yeah, and if you guys enjoyed what you listened and what you watched today and the information we provide for you, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. So hopefully our goal is trying to get you guys weekly updates on all these NBA players and also baseball eventually when baseball comes around and then during the football season as well. So make sure you subscribe and follow us on Instagram.